Are plastic bag bans showing us that the slippery slope is real? Let's have a look. Good morning everyone and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Now I wanted to talk about an article about plastic bag bans here in Australia, or a push to ban them even more. A few months ago we've had a plastic bag ban here in Queensland, and it means that we can no longer get access to single-use bags in shops. It's really frustrating because anyone who has ever gone shopping and gotten the single-use bags, they'll often, if not all the time, get reused, maybe as a garbage bag. Because cheap people, you put it on a door handle, you fill it up with rubbish, you throw it out, it has another life. Or because it'll be used maybe to wrap some sandwiches or lunch when you go with you. They're useful, they're cheap, they're efficient, they're low carbon. But no, we can't have that. The crazy lefties want to ban everything because it'll save the environment, it'll save the animals. And there's actually no basis on it. They're probably doing more harm than good. They're getting their authoritarian kicks and forcing people to change their behavior by outlawing useful, practical things. And frankly, it frustrates me. So Woolworths and Coles, they are our two biggest really duopoly of retailers here in Australia. They own a big chunk of the market. They're now under pressure to ban reusable bags. So they've gotten rid of the single-use ones, which could also be reused, which is kind of a misnomer. Probably high carbon footprint bags, we'll call it, as well as plastic ones, because they're still bad for the environment. Everything's bad. I think greenies are bad for the environment. I remember I had a very unproductive argument on Facebook with this one gentleman about this topic. And I remember him from when I was running and I had to give a debate. And he was this really immensely overweight Greens voter with a shirt on it and just taking up 2 chairs. You know, and now that I've started exploring keto, I really feel sorry for him. But it was completely unproductive. And I got to the point where he admitted that we have to force people to change. So it just shows you the authoritarianism coming out of these people. So supermarkets are now being pressured to drop their reusable plastic bags. Coles and Woolworths scrapped single-use carriers in the middle of the year, and that was a pain. They offered reusable, thicker plastic bags for customers at 15 cents each. Yeah, that fall apart after one use. Environmentalists said supermarkets should get rid of them altogether. So how the hell do they expect us to carry our groceries home? What I've been doing, I've been going to the fruit and veg section, just getting the little fruit bags and just using those for everything. But that's more just to be a bastard. Or we'll just put it all in the boot. So supermarkets are being pressured to ban reusable plastic bags. Coles and Woolworths dropped them last year, 15 cents. Okay, so these are the bags that they want to get rid of, that you now have to pay 15 cents. We used to get free ones. And another thing to think about is these are higher in embodied energy, so they need to be reused more times to offset the carbon impact of the polyurethane bags. But look at the thickness and the size. You're not going to be able to transport them as efficiently as other bags. So you'll need to have more containers to transport them to the locations to get the same use out of them, which has a higher embodied energy in the transportation. Sure, they're going to be less used, but I doubt that the greenies have actually looked into any of that analysis before they were pushing for these restrictive authoritarian policies that you can't get a bloody bag. Let's finish the job by introducing bag ban legislation and governments and retailers getting rid of these flimsy reusable thicker bags. Environmentalist group Boomerang Alliance, Jeff Angel, I'll call him Angel, told the Herald Sun. Mr. Angel said plenty of strong reusable bag types should be used instead of plastic, such as canvas carry bags. Okay, we're going to look at the embodied energy of a canvas carry bag and how many bloody times you need to reuse it, because this guy is an idiot. Just by saying that, that's all I need to know. That's enough there that he's got no actual understanding of the implications of this. Woolworths head of sustainability, Adrian Cullen, said shoppers were happy to use the thicker bags. Well, no, we're not. I'm not happy to use the thicker bags. We have to use the thicker bags because legislation has been put in place. And they were also purchasing canvas bags for $1. So, you know, they're making money out of this stuff. Together with customers, we've taken more than 700 million single-use plastic bags out of circulation since June, which is great for our waterways and marine life. What does he base that on? Because we're going to look at another example where that's complete and utter BS. There's no basis to that. They're just making these claims for emotive reasons to just chip away at another bloody thing of your life, and now they want to ban the replacement. So to me, this is an example of the slippery slope, where just a little change. Oh, look, they get a positive response to their political activism, so they go a step further. They go a step further. In the UK, there are calls to ban wipes, wet wipes. You know, as a father of 4 kids, when you change a nappy, you want them, and they're calling to ban them. And I know it's because, you know, stupid, trendy hipsters wipe their ass and put it in the toilet. No, it's for children and cleaning things. Greenpeace campaigner Zoe Dean said people needed to stop being dependent on plastic bags. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. When half of your supporters are probably dependent on the state. While reusable plastic bags are much better than single-use ones. No, they're not. What do you base that on? What do you base that on? We still have concerns about how many of these bags are being handed out and whether or not people do indeed reuse them. No, they don't reuse them. They don't reuse them because they fall apart. You fill them full of stuff and they fall apart. A Call spokesman said they intended to continue to offer new reusable plastic bags for sale to provide customers who forget to bring their bags from home. Yes, okay, a lot of us forget because we're not used to it, because the reusable $1 ones, they also fall apart. Coles and Woolworths' decision to stop offering single-use disposable plastic bags midway through the year was initially met with swift public backlash. Yeah, it has. But 3 months on, the radical change has transitioned into an 80% drop in the consumption of plastic bags because we've got no bloody choice. Okay? We've got no choice. It's not a decision we get to make. It's been forced on us. The government has forced this onto retailers, has forced this onto us because a bunch of whingy people think they're going to make a difference when they're not. They're absolutely not. Let's have a look at where this plastic mismanagement is coming from. You know, what are the sources of this stuff? Have a look here. Look at here. 2010. I know it's 8 years out of date, but the trends will continue, guys. Look at greater than 8 tons per million or per meter. Look at here. China. Oh wow. Where's Australia? Oh, look at that 0.001 to 0.025. Wow, that is a infinitely small portion of plastic. So anything we do in this country is going to be pointless. Utterly pointless. Here in Australia, we have an event called Clean Up Australia Day. And I remember when I was a kid, it was advertised on the television, and they'd show all these people going out, cleaning up, you know, getting car bodies out of river, picking up all this mess. So I thought, okay, we'll go do it. My wife and I, we went and did it with the local Rotary Club. And you know what? I spent all the time just picking up a few cigarette butts and nothing. Nothing at all. It was in inner city Brisbane. Hardly anything. I was actually really disappointed because the amount of rubbish we got was insignificant. So, oh boy. So here we go. Plastic waste produced and mismanaged. Oh, once again, China and Indonesia. Australia barely ranks. Barely ranks. It's to do with your coastal population and how much of it's what's the point? It's utterly pointless. It's not going to make any difference. It's China where it's all coming from. And here we go. I'll link to these articles that have got these images in so you can have a look. But, I mean, come on, guys. You know, we don't even get a dot. We don't even get one bloody dot from any of our rivers. So how can they claim that it's good for our waterways and marine life, when there is no evidence? Nothing here. Nothing. And this is from 2017. So let's have a look at an article from The Star. This is the unfair war against plastic. So plastic bags have been getting a bad reputation lately. Last year, 4 states in Malaysia, and we'll have a look here. You know, look at the Southeast Asia. Yeah, they're all bad with plastic. 4 states in Malaysia: Selangor, Kuala Lumpur, Johor, and Melaka. Apologies if I butchered those pronunciations. Came up with a ruling to replace petroleum-based plastic bags with biodegradable alternatives. Wow, so woke and good for the environment. Despite many hiccups in the implementation of the new ruling, both for residential and commercial areas, the authorities are bent on making the change. Has anyone seen just for a sidestep, what's happening in France, in Paris, with the protests, with the yellow shirts, against a new carbon tax on petrol that's just decimating normal people. It's going to be a cost of living increase. You've got to remember, all of these things that sound good for the environment, that people claim are good for the environment, it's a cost of living increase. That's what it is. Okay, nothing is for free. However, plastics and some environmental experts believe that plastic bags are still the right choice for the environment, economy, and community if used wisely. That's where I think education about reusing them should be addressed at some of the source nations, not Australia. I mean, come on. How often do you see plastic bags around, even when they were legal? You put them in a bin. So here's the myths. So myth, degradable bags are good. Nope, they release harmful greenhouse gases. Plastics take 1,000 years to degrade. Maybe plastic is inert, so it's best to be sent for recycling. Yeah, you can recycle it and reuse it and repurpose it. That's well known. Plastic kills 100,000 marine animals annually. Okay, so plastic debris kills 100,000 marine animals annually. Or it does, but it's plastic debris, not plastic bags. And they'll mention it in the article down here where it's, or in continuing in this, where it's a resource of fishing. Reusable paper and biodegradable bags are more environmentally friendly than plastic bags, which is BS. Single-use polyethylene grocery bags have a lower carbon footprint than alternatives. And you've got to reuse these things sometimes over 100 times to offset the carbon difference. It's insane. Plastic bags are not recyclable, and no, they are. They are completely recyclable. You know, why are we banning these things when there's so many benefits to them and you can recycle it? Why don't, I would rather, even though I'd hate this, that they put a 5-cent charge on these bags and you get a refund when you go back to the shops and recycle it. That would be better for the environment than this stupid policy. But they're environmental ideologues are just got their blind blinkers on and don't understand the implications of what they're actually talking about or the implications for the environment. They can't think outside their box. I don't think they're smart enough. Or I think they're blinded by their ideology. So the Malaysian Plastics Manufacturers Association, MPMA president, oh boy, Datuk Lim Kok Bon, please let me know in the comments how I butchered that, said there were many misconceptions about plastic and its negative effects on the environment and health. Yes, they are. There's so much information on the internet, but not all are true. Some authorities are also giving inaccurate statements and misleading the public into believing negative stuff about using plastic. For example, the scare about reusing plastic bottles is exaggerated. Yes, my mother literally told me that the other day. There is a certain amount of leaching with every use, but it's the same with other materials. The leaching from plastic bottles does not cause health problems. I've been using the same plastic bottles for over a decade because it fits my car socket pockets and the bottles are always left in my car. There you go. There's one way. It shows you how this false information that's coming out is causing more damage because people aren't reusing them. The fact that there is no disclaimer on the plastic bottles used by multinational beverage companies to deny responsibility of health concerns with its continued usage speaks for itself. Yeah, you're right. The lawyers would not let that slip through, guaranteed. It's the same for polystyrene packages, which is widely used in serving street food in countries like South Korea and Japan, which some claim can cause cancer, he said. Many issues that marred the name of plastic was its effect on marine life, Lim said. Although littering has caused plastic to be mistaken for food by sea creatures, a mistake in a 2002 report has sparked great concern on plastic bag use. So before we look at this, we'll just read that mistake. So a report on its website misinterpreted a 1987 Canadian study which attributed plastic debris, not plastic bags as stated, to cause the death of 100,000 marine animals annually. Plastic debris are mainly from fishing equipment, among others. The error was corrected in 2006, but the 100,000 figure continues to be quoted. Now you'll find this more and more. Here's a book, The Skeptical Environmentalist by Lomborg. Now, the reason why I haven't gotten started with my Ayn Rand book that I'm getting bullied or bugged, or reminded, I should say, to read, because I'm still working through a lot of other books, including this one. And you'll find that a lot of the environmental claims that people make to justify their authoritarian decisions to limit your freedoms are bunk. They're false. They can't be backed up when you tear them apart. This is an example right here of where a claim has been found to be incorrect, but you will guarantee that people will use it. Our good friends here in Australia are saying that it saves marine life, and we've found here evidence no, it doesn't. So let's look at the carbon use. A single-use petroleum-based plastic bag, you need to use a paper bag 4 times. 4 times, okay? A non-woven polypropylene bag 14 times. Now, how many times can you use these ones 4 times? Paper bags? No, guaranteed not. They'll fall apart. These ones, maybe 1 or 2 and they fall apart. A low-density polyethylene bag, 5 times you've got to use it. So these are the ones that we have to pay 15 cents for. You need to reuse them 5 times. And here we go, the cotton jute bag, 173 times. So they're suggesting for canvas bags, for these type of things, 173 times. How many times do you go shopping? If you go shopping once a week, what's that? That's 3 years you got to keep the bloody bag. Or if you go once a fortnight, how many years is that? So you tell me, let me know in the comments, do you think this will work? Do you think that people are taking this into account? Guaranteed they're not. I hope people will not easily believe everything they read on the internet, but do their own research as well. Yeah, I think that's a bit false hope there. Lim said much of the fuss about plastic was due to the fact that it was not degradable. Do biodegradable products actually degrade in the landfill? Degradation occurs when there is moisture and heat. Landfills today are engineered to eliminate moisture and retard biodegradation. Due to the lack of oxygen, most of the waste going through anaerobic without oxygen degradation and release methane gas instead of carbon dioxide. Great. Both are greenhouse gases that cause global warming, and methane is 22 times more harmful than carbon dioxide. You know what we should do? We should burn these bags to generate energy. That'd be good. So why are we promoting biodegradation when our aim is to protect the environment? Because it's politics. People probably buy shares in these companies here and then push an agenda to ban these ones so they can make money. That's a bit of conspiracy theory for you there, but come on. So on the other hand, plastic bags are inert and can be recycled many times, he says. So here's a little diagram they have, and I'm sure they are recycled many times. I think that would be a smarter approach. And plastic bags made out of polyethylene are easily recycled. 1 ton of plastic bags saves 11 barrels of oil, if recycled, and takes 91% less energy to recycle plastic compared to paper. Wow. Lim said it was not practical to eliminate plastic bags. And that's what they are pushing for now in Australia. That's the slippery slope. They've gotten their one ban, and they're going to bugger the environment. They're going to have more of an impact than they realize. I mean, Australia, our scale on the globe is so insignificant. Even their stupid policies won't make any difference, but it will affect our cost of living. So we need to educate people on using plastic bags wisely. Yes, take only what is needed, reuse and recycle the excess, which will leave very little carbon footprint. Fantastic. Smart man. You know, if these people were really, if they really wanted to care for the environment, they would push for reuse and recycling of the low carbon footprint bags. They're not. They want to control. They want to have say. They want to get authority. They want to get justifications. These people that are living these activist lives, I'm sorry, I'm really annoyed by this because it just pisses me off. It's such a simple little thing. All the evidence goes against the argument, but yet they're pushing for more. Other alternative bags made of paper, low-density polyethylene, polypropylene, and jute will need to be reused between 4 and 173 times to match the plastic bag's carbon footprint, already to offset their carbon footprint. Logically, environmental friendly approaches will be focused on 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. We need to give it a chance to work, he said. So, environmental activist S. Siri Umeswaran, who has worked on many activities related to sustainable development and waste management, said he determined eco-friendly products from the amount of carbon emissions emitted throughout the process of producing the product, and not just by judging it at the disposal stage. So he's looking at the entire energy of the product. In Malaysia, eco-friendly products or plastics are viewed from the point of biodegradability and the source of the raw materials. Most of the time, the producers do greenwashing, which is true. I've encountered that here in Australia with a lot of the manufacturing. You need to look at the entire body energy and the lifespan of the product, cradle to grave or cradle to cradle. Recycling is one of the most important actions currently available to waste accumulation and represents one of the most dynamic areas of the plastic industry today. I had a project. We were looking at a refurbishment on a high-rise tower in the building, and part of it was to look at the waste management for the tower. And so I met with different suppliers of waste management services and the contracts they provide. And here in Australia now, you don't get any benefit for recycling from a financial perspective because they can't do anything with it. China has stopped importing a lot of products with regards to recyclables to reprocess because they've got so much of their own. And a lot of it now is getting hoarded and stored or getting disposed of. So recycling provides the opportunity to reduce oil usage, carbon dioxide emissions, and the quantities of waste requiring disposals. But in Malaysia, we still recycle into context against other waste reduction strategies. So advances in technology and systems for the collection, sorting, and reprocessing of recyclable plastics are creating new opportunities for recycling. Plastic is an amazing material. It can be repurposed. It has a lot of benefits to it. With the combined actions of the public, industry, and government, it may be possible to divert the majority of plastic from waste landfills to recycling over the next decades, which would be fantastic. In Malaysia, the plastic recycling industry has high potential in terms of economic strength. Unfortunately, not much recognition is given to this industry as most people think they are polluters, which is actually not the case. Wow, so bad publicity. Bad publicity. The plastic recycling industry in Malaysia is often misunderstood, as most of them do downgrade recycling by processing contaminated post-consumer waste not separated at source. This is because consumers rarely practice segregation at source. Therefore, some plastic recyclers import clean, segregated plastic waste from Europe and the US into the country via approved permit. So they are having to import the waste import the plastic because the education about the recycling of it isn't up to scratch. So it shows you that education is more beneficial for a whole sector. In countries such as Germany and Japan, the plastic recycling system works smoothly without any bans imposed on any kinds of plastic. So Germany and Japan are doing it without these stupid authoritarian bans. They have similar legislation like us, including a take-back system where product manufacturers are responsible to take back the products for recycling in place of consumer incentives. I like that idea. When I was specifying architectural projects, materials for architectural projects, I'll ask the manufacturers if they have a take-back system, if they have a way to reuse their old product. Because that shows you if it's just all talk. Because they'll talk about all their green incentives and yada, yada, yada. We've got this, we're recycling tires. Wow, aren't we fantastic? But if you find if they actually have a mechanism to take their product back and then downcycle it or a process to reuse it, that's more impressive. It's about cradle to cradle. The government agencies in these countries view waste as a resource and make full use of it. They take a holistic view, life cycle assessment. Our authorities should conduct LCA to check on carbon emissions. I think also our activists need to do that. Sri said biodegradable products were a short-term solution as there were no scientifically proven studies to show degradation at a landfill. Wow. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. Society has a littering problem. It may encourage the public to dispose of more or litter indiscriminately. Each type of plastic has been developed for specific applications and primarily made for its strength, toughness, and long-lasting durability. For that reason, biodegradability is not the answer. I urge waste management systems to use technology to sort and recycle all kinds of plastic. The Malaysian plastic industry should also look into the possibility of creating more recyclable plastic designs to support the circular economy, he added. So that was quite an interesting article, particularly from a country that is one of the, or in the regions, shall we say, of a lot of our plastic waste in our waterways. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that this push to ban even these bags is just another step? Is this evidence of the slippery slope? Or am I just getting angry and annoyed that another cost of living increase is being pushed on us? You know, should we get the yellow shirts on? Do we need to start protesting like the French? Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. And this month of December, I am planning to upload a video every day. So please spread the word, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.